Okay, due diligence and pre-closing matters. There's a lot going on here. You've finally gotten to the point where you got a signed contract, you have a deal. Again, don't start spending the commission money yet. Now, that said, most deals do go through, but there is a certain percentage that will not make it through due diligence. You're going to minimize those by doing your homework ahead of time, following the procedures that I've outlined for you, and doing your research and putting deals together that are solid. But that said, there's a lot going on at this point. There's quite a bit of work for you to do as agent because you're working with first-time buyers who don't have experience. They're not hiring. They don't really want to hire professionals to help because that costs money. They're not sure if they need to. Again, so you'll have to do a lot of the work for them, and I'll go through the procedure. So due diligence is it's a time period under the contract, under the purchase agreement, that says a buyer has a certain amount of time to review the business and make sure the listing is what it says it is. In other words, if the listing says gross sales are this much, net profit is this much, the manager works this many hours, they have this many clients, etc. The lease is this much per year. The buyer can go through all of that information and review it to make sure it matches up to the listing and the buyer is sure of what they're buying. It's an insurance policy for the buyer. They have a certain amount of time to do it. There is no standard amount of time, but there is customarily for simple businesses, small businesses, it's 1 to 2 weeks. You really don't need more than that amount of time to go through financial documents. You probably realistically only need a day or two. But let's consider a buyer who's hiring an accountant. May take some time to go find an accountant to do the due diligence, hire that accountant, and get that accountant to make time to do the due diligence. And that's why it can go